Oh, that was friggin' weird. I don't know if you guys are still there or not, but my YouTube stream just went kaplooey, apparently. Hopefully we got everybody back now. Sorry about that, guys. Totally my fault. Well, actually, I guess it's my fault. Like, it was really friggin' YouTube's fault or whatever the hell just happened there. That was weird as hell. How bizarre. Just go and edit this real quick. Hey, Lautrec, how are you doing, man? I'm doing pretty solid. Just we were streaming before, had a little bit of a hiccup, and everything died, but now we're getting back into it. So, whoops-a-daisy. Shit happens, can't do anything about it. We just move on. Keep working on it. What a random occurrence to fucking occur there. Okay, looks like everything is back to normal now. That was absolutely bizarre. I thought it was just like a... So to you since the Anthem days. Very popping your stream finally. Hey! One of the OGs, man. One of the OGs. Anthem was fun to begin with, dude. It was fun to begin with, and...
I got something I need a hand with. Some inbred bandits.
It's a damn shame what they did to that game. Have you been playing Outriders at all? Can you do a boomtown run so I can see how you clap Dr. Detonator? Sure thing, broski. We're not moving super fast right now, but should be alright. Sketchiest part of running this build is is the final boss, honestly. Much less safe than the budget build is. I'm sorry if I don't read the chat. I just want to try and get a decent time here. Even though this guy's making that very difficult. There we go. No idea what that dude's doing all the way back there, but that's annoying as well. Don't think we're going to get a sub 4-minute one, but we'll see. Sorry, one sec, guys. Okay, guys, so sorry about that. We are back. My bad. CT15 structure still just need Ogake helmet or however it's spelled. Then my build will be complete. Nice, dude. Nice, nice, nice. Damn, we had like literally like 40 people in the friggin' chat, and then YouTube decided to take a fucking massive dump. That's annoying. But what can you do? Life doesn't stop because you're streaming, dude. I disagree. It should, in a perfect world, it would stop dead in its tracks. What the heck is going on here? That was weirdly laggy. That's okay, though. Awkward moments in history. Fucking up this run big time. It's okay, though. No, my dad sometimes likes to come by and just play with my dog, walk my dog, so he just suddenly appeared at my house. No big deal. Outrider detected. Oh my gosh, what is he? Sorry about that. My dog did not like my dancing tones. I have no idea if that was as loud for you guys as it was for my freaking eardrums, but he's lucky he's cute. Now we got neighbors showing up to the apartment with all because of the Boomtown music, man. Teddy, stop being a baby. What are you doing, bud? You need me to pick you up just because you're being a baby? Okay, hold on. Hold on, get up here. Get up here, you cutie pie. Come on. Alright. Okay. Look at this. You're making me die, bud. You're making me die. Now I gotta go and reset my run. Now I gotta go reset my run. Okay. Sorry, I was,
You can't even handle this for me.
No, okay. You're a show-off. How do I make a Pyro VR build do more damage? Do you know what legendary the Outrider Legacy gives? I honestly have not even done Outrider's Legacy. I'm pretty sure it's just random ones, though, isn't it? You get Death Shield from it. I do not know, sir. Pretty sure you can get Death Shield from anything. I know for a fact you can get Death Shield from the Wanted bounty missions. Can't get it from the hunts, obviously. Yeah, random lead demo weapon. That seems to be the case for all the campaign bosses as well. And Death Shield is obviously amazing for AP builds, but if you got like Shadow Comet or something else as well, you can run that totally fine until you get Death Shield. Watch your budget pyro build. I appreciate you thinking of the comment. How do you think that build stacks up against the Volcanic Rounds build for CT15? I like that build a lot more than Volcanic Rounds, to be honest with you. I think well, hold on, at CT15, yeah. So Volcanic Rounds at CT15, Volcanic Rounds in general is a little tough, right? Because it doesn't have the same infinite capabilities as Twisted Rounds and as, you know, Blighted, but it can still work. You just need a lot more mods, which means you can't exactly dedicate as much to pure damage. Whereas the budget build, it's so carefree. It's so easy to play, and it's fun to play if you like that spellcaster, you know, spam abilities type playstyle. So, I ran Volcanic Rounds up to CT15. And then I switched to my budget build, and I gotta say I like it more. I think from a viability perspective as well, like, especially even in co-op, right? Like, those bullet builds in co-op, it gets a little rough. Even though Volcanic Rounds has a much shorter cooldown if you do lose it than Twisted Rounds and stuff like that, I think it's, I honestly feel like Volcanic Rounds is one of those builds where the setup actually requires more than an AP build would require for Pyro. And you might not be as effective. That's my opinion. I think mid-tree Pyro into, you know, I think mid-tree Pyro is fantastic all the way getting to CT15. I think it's fantastic for farming CT15. It has like a really clear progression where you can go from the budget Pyro. Then if you manage to get 3 pieces of Acara or something like that, it's you can just slap it onto that budget build and it's still gonna absolutely slap. You know? And then, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Whoops. That's what I get for talking at the same time. Stupid. Alright. Let me focus on one thing at a time. Okay. How do I make a VR build do more damage? Sorry. VR builds, it really comes down to just maximizing the amount of damage you're going to be able to, like, the amount of damage mods you have, and decreasing the amount of ammo and defensive mods that you use, which is a little bit tough with the volcanic rounds. I'm not going to front. And so it's like, okay, volcanic rounds, what are you trying to amplify? You're trying to amplify your resistance piercing, because you're dealing the majority of damage with volcanic rounds. At least that should be the plan. You probably want to go infinite, right? Which means you're going to want either to be running reforged bullets, which makes it so if you land crits on burning targets, you don't consume ammo. Or you're going to want to run, which I think is probably the easier option, which would be Vein Ripper and Vampiric Mag, so that you have infinite ammo that way, right? Then you're talking about damage amplification. Okay, so what are you going to do for damage amplification? Well, you can go your traditional firepower things, right? Like Bloodlust, Crit Stack, Sharp Eye, Captain Hunter, Dum Dum Bullets. But then you can also go and you can run stuff like Ash Cleaner? You know, if you're running like a more Ash damage build, you can run the, is it called Burning Bullets? Is that what the mod is called? Burn Kindling? Bullet Kindling? The one that gives you like 20% increased damage to burning targets, right? Like, that's going to be useful if you're trying to amplify your volcanic rounds damage. And it just comes down to stacking all of those up and then trying to get into like a combat rhythm where you're not going to lose your ammo. And that's really the struggle I had with volcanic rounds. You know, you could go what some people do, and they run those Feed the Flame mods that pull, you know, when you use Feed the Flame. Sorry, I almost hit you in the face, bud. When you use Feed the Flame, it refills your magazine, but it's a lot harder to do than just the traditional bullet builds, right? You're relying on an ability to get your volcanic rounds to stay infinite and not just the bullets itself. So that's kind of why I lean towards the mid-tree budget build. Mid-tree budget build in comparison, you need what? You need the 2 Heatwave Tier 1 mods that you probably have. You need Burnt Out, which is another Tier 1 mod. And then, personally, those are like the absolute mandatory, right? And then what I would consider God tier is Twice as Hot, which is a Tier 2 mod. Untamed Power is really helpful. You don't need it, but it's super helpful. That's a Tier 2 mod. For defensive options, you really only need Emergency Stance, and you don't even need Emergency Stance if you don't want to run it. But if you're struggling to climb, I would highly recommend running Emergency Stance. There's zero reason not to. It's really good. And then with Middle Tree, you're going to be super safe. You're going to have a bunch of extra health. I don't know why I'm just monologuing when I can show you. I mean, like, literally, you can... I have the build in the description below. It's the Budget Anomaly Pyromancer one. But, like, you go and you're getting all of these Magma Golem nodes that are mandatory. So you automatically get, 50% additional max health? And then you're also picking up a bunch of Skill Leech, which is also going to make it so all of your burns and everything is going to heal you. You're going to be running Feed the Flames, which heals you and gives you a 45% anomaly power buff. And you're going to go and you're going to be spamming Heat Waves that give 50% increased damage taken. You're going to be hitting it with Phaser Blasts. You know, you're getting extra armor from Ignite, and you're getting 45% Resist Pierce from just using Heat Wave and Phase Beam. Like, it's just such an easier build to run, in my opinion, than trying to go into that bullet meta. You know what I mean? Where, like, everybody at the start was like, all right, infinite bullets, like, that's the way to go. That's the easiest, that's the strongest. But the reality is that it's just not. The reality is that it's actually the anomaly power builds that end up overtaking the bullet builds, in my opinion. And so, you know, my personal opinion, I'm not just saying it because I have a what do you call it? Because I have a budget build that uses mid-tree. Because, like, I climbed, but the first time on this Pyromancer, right? Not on the one that is in the budget video. I made a whole new Pyromancer for that video. On this one, I climbed all the way using volcanic rounds. And I think it was a lot harder, honestly. That the budget Pyromancer climb from CT1 to CT15, like, having to transfer stuff back and forth took a little bit, but, like, other than that, I think the whole climb took like 5 hours. Super easy. You know, and granted, I'm a lot better at the game now. I know more about it, but like, I feel like if you're going pyro, and especially, I feel like, I don't know, just a hunch, I feel like a lot of people that go Pyromancer, they probably want to be using the abilities, because the abilities are friggin' cool as shit. You know? So, like, the mid-tree build, it fulfills that class fantasy, and you feel strong as fuck. You can, like, you just feel unkillable because everything you do heals you, and everything you do has a super short cooldown. And then once you go and you have, hold on, yeah, the VR build was struggling. I have good rolls with tier 3 mod even. I'm looking to try a not ideal Acara setup with head, glove, and feet, since those are the pieces I have. Dude, you can literally go, take the friggin' budget build that I have, slap on 3-piece Akari set, and then just put in some of those mandatory mods, and you're set. You will, I'm telling you, you will melt entire rooms, and you will not feel in danger the slightest bit. The slightest bit. Akari, that's the nice thing about the mid-tree, is the progression, right? The legendary set for volcanic rounds, it just makes a bigger AoE, which is, like, not that enjoyable, in my opinion. Now, I haven't done extensive testing with the Where is it? One of these. This one. I haven't done extensive testing with it. It could be fantastic, but I think it requires a lot more effort, to be honest. What's up, Lifeless Creator? How are you doing, man? Hope you're having a good day. But does that make sense? Like, legit, just take that budget build and use those legendaries. And that's the nice... I keep cutting myself off because I keep forgetting. But, like, that's the nice thing about the progression. Is the progression... You know, usually with bullet builds, the most optimal thing is not having any legendaries at all. At least, like, Technomancer, right? Epics are the best. I mean, Trickster has the Hunt the Prey thing, which I guess would be a solid legendary set for a gun build. But, like, having a bigger Volcanic Rounds aura, not necessarily gonna change your life. You know, it's not like a damage boost, right? Whereas you go mid-tree and just with a basic epic set, you'll cruise to CT15. And then, it, like you already have, if you have a couple pieces of Acara, even though they're not optimal, right? You don't want the max health and shit. But even though they're not optimal, the damage boost you're going to get from them, it works perfectly with that build. Because you're not going to be able to run like the overheat build just yet. And then from there, you use that build to farm for the actual overheat set that you probably want to run, I'm guessing. And it's just a nice progression curve rather than Volcanic Rounds being like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a struggle with Volcanic Rounds, I feel like. I do want to go back and try try running it with more of the tier 3 and legendary stuff, but that's my opinion on Volcanic Rounds versus mid-tree. Hey buddy, you're a good boy. Just relax. You're such a big scaredy cat, Teddy. I honestly need to drop this other shotgun just for the fact that I always forget to, like, do the whole reload thing. That reload playstyle is just not my jam. The same way. Work on budget. They're all about the legend, but like we got to get there. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, there's you know, I hang out on Reddit a ton, and like I just see so many people going and being like, "Hey, I can't climb. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here." And it's like, once you get there, once you get to CT15, once you get some tier 3s, once you learn how to actually climb there, it's a whole different story. You know, but the first time, a lot of people get stuck, and the game is not easy the first time you go through it. Could I get through it a lot faster now? Probably, but it's, you know, if you want this game to survive, you gotta go and help people out. So many people saying, oh, you know, was there a random nerf to my damage today? Was there a random buff to enemies today? And it's like, there's no conspiracy. It's just, we gotta get people's builds right, you know? Gosh, my butt is getting eaten up this run. Holy cannoli. Teddy, I'll let you down when I get on the elevator, bud. I'll let you down when we get on the elevator. Any idea what they're saying about co-op connectivity issues?
Damn it. More of them.
No, I haven't, I've literally played 0.00 hours of co-op. Because originally I just, you know, the friends that I was going to play this game with, they just stopped. They just didn't play it. So then I was like, all right, I'll do it solo. Whoops, that was a mistake. I was like, all right, I'll just do it solo. I mean, I do a lot of games solo anyway. And then with the inventory wipe issues seemingly coming from co-op, I was like, oh, I'm not touching it. You know what I mean? So I really don't know. People are saying that there's connectivity issues, but it's so tough to tell what's truth and what's real because so many people are blaming so many different things. Okay, you want to get down, bud? Here you go, little guy. Here you go. Say bye to the stream, you cutie pie. There you go, buddy. Little munchkin. Just lay down. But I guess that's part of the problem right now. It's like so many people think, you know, because the launch was rough, and the inventory wipe issues and everything, you know, it's some people think every single time something happens, it has to be their fault, and it totally could be. I have no idea, but it's hard to pin down an issue when every single person's like, you know, it's rubber banding, it's doing this. Like Series X, honestly, I mean, obviously I've just been playing solo. I've encountered like literally 0 issues, like 0, since launch. You know, we had the server issues. Those are, you know, that's at least from me, that's expected in a new game now. I had a couple crashes here and there, but like absolutely nothing to write home about. And then other than that, my gameplay experience so far has been pristine. I know that's not the case with everybody else, but that's been my experience so far. Like legit, like nothing too crazy, like no graphical craziness. Like I didn't get my inventory wiped at all because I avoided co-op. Like my experience is just not the same as what so many people are reporting. Like somebody said that they did 15 gold CT15s with their buddies and got 0 legendaries, and I can't wrap my head around how that's possible. I've literally run 1,000 expeditions at this point. 1,000. I've streamed this game like 20-30 hours a week since the release, and my norm for CT15 farming, it's like the most I've gone without without seeing a legendary is probably 3 in a row. Like 15 just seems impossible to me. But it's like, are people actually encountering that? Are people over exaggerating? Is there some kind of a bug? Like that's the type of shit where it's just like I have no idea. You know what I mean?
Take a look at it. And I found a pod down here.
You saved some lives today, Outrider. I would
All right, sorry, I missed some of the chat because I was running. Let me just make sure. You get there just how they did. Farming. Hope RNG is on your side. Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to farming. Like, I see so many of the, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm working my way back down the chat. I see even people in this chat, you know, people say, oh, I can't do CT14, so I'm going back down to 13. And it's like, I never did that on any character. Like, my mindset was always, okay, I want, instead of going and farming for materials to upgrade the gear I already have, I want to be making progress always. I want to go and try and, like, okay, I need to get CT. My next thing is I need to do CT13. I'm not going to keep doing CT12. Like, I'm going to keep running. I'm going to bash my head against the wall of CT13 so that at least the drops are all higher level drops than what I already have. My legendary chances are better, even though I'm not relying on legendaries until I get to CT15. And, like, the materials and stuff that you get from deconstruction are all going to be better. So So I never dropped my challenge tier. I never went down and did something that, like, once I completed something, the only thing I fought was above it. And people aren't doing that. And then I see people having downscaling issues. And like I've never downscaled. You know, when I've gone back into the story world tiers, I didn't notice anything major. You know, this character's world tier 1 until we were trying to do some of the hunt farms. I think he's only like world tier 9 max now. A bunch of my other characters aren't even world tier 15. I don't think I have a single character at world tier 15 because I just said, what do I need to go back to story for? But I can see why people would need to do that. If you're playing with a friend and you want to go play with them, then like maybe you got to drop down and maybe your damage is sucking because of it. So it stinks. But it's like stuff like that, like I can't relate to the people that are complaining about it because it's like it's not something I encountered. Sorry, I'm still going down. What's funny is I got the chest and gloves when I got silver tier, been gold after I got my pieces. Me and my girlfriend wanted to play, we just couldn't because of how horrible it came to be, so we would just FaceTime each other while playing because we didn't know what to do. That sucks, dude. Every other game we play is perfectly fine. The real issue I have in co-op is ammo refreshers not working properly. Most connectivity issues are yellow bars in regards to consoles for co-op. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some people having rubber banding and jittering. I don't know if it's... you just don't know what it could be. But yeah, my buddy who I was originally going to play the game with, he, you know, I went techno, he went pyromancer. And then straight off the bat, he read on like the theory crafting subreddit that Pyromancer was garbage because that was what that's what they were freaking out about in the first like 2 days of the game launch. They said Pyromancer and anomaly builds are trash. They're terrible because they nerfed the stuff from the data mine. And then look at it right now. Pyromancer is by far the fastest speedrunning class in the entire game. You know, but my friend, he saw that and then he was struggling. When he was going through the story mode, he was struggling. I flew through it on techno, top tree techno, and went to CT15 and he was playing on PC. I was playing on Xbox. We couldn't crossplay. So it was just a solo game. And he was like, "No, like they're saying Pyro's terrible, but I want to play Pyro." And he was struggling. I think he just quit. But now it's like, hey, bro, Pyro's the best. Pyro's the shit, especially skill build. But it's like, I'm not one of those people who has lost faith in this game or the developers or anything like that. I think it's tough going on Reddit sometimes because I totally get that some people are having some major issues. The inventory wipe stuff should never have happened. You know, the public relations look of it was just not good, right? Like the inventory wipes coupled with the nerfs, like it was bad timing overall. They should have approached it differently. But now it's like every single thing that I read, like the reason why I'm making these is like, aside from the fact that like this whole channel, the point is like, I no-life these games. I have no problem no-lifing these games. I get obsessed. And I love min-maxing. But, like, not everybody, like... Let's look at my time here. My time in Outriders. Stats. 12 days, 2 hours. You know what I mean? 975 expeditions. 100,000 enemies killed. Like, 0 hours in co-op. Like... nobody has time for that, right? But like I do, and I like playing the game, so like why don't I just go and no life it and then make guides so that people don't have to waste their time, right? If I go and I tell you it, like if I'm making clickbait shit saying, oh, go AP techno because it's bugged, then like that doesn't fucking help anybody because that shit got patched and now it's garbage. Possibly. I mean, I haven't messed around with AP Techno, but like, the goal is to try and help other people climb. And so I go on Reddit all the time. I'm on it constantly. And like, you had a period when the nerfs happened where like everyone's blaming content creators, and it's like I'm an absolute fucking nobody content creator, so nobody's blaming me for shit. Even though I do get a couple salty comments. I do get a couple salty comments that I do like reading, um but it's like you just see there's the subreddit is just filled with so much like conspiracy and like just these like depressive thoughts, and like every single thing is like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm playing it, like obviously I'm putting in way more time than everybody else, but I feel like I'm playing a different game, and I can't tell if it's because, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely salt mines and people circle jerk and stuff, but it doesn't have to be that way. And my thing is like I feel like part of it is just people getting stuck like because of their builds. Obviously, there's other issues, the inventory wipe stuff and whatever, and connectivity, yada yada yada. But like, I feel like in a lot of these scenarios, it's just people getting stuck because of actual mechanics. I'm not saying people are bad or anything. Like, people don't have the amount of time to put into these games. But I feel like if you can just go and you can get, like, if I would love to see if every negative post on there saw like, okay, are they CT15? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to know. Or is it somebody who's stuck at like CT7? Because then you have a totally different outlook on the game, right? You have a totally different outlook because you think this game is, hey, Chaos Guns, appreciate the follow, man. Really appreciate it, dude. The Twitch follows are much appreciated. We're trying to get affiliate, and we're so friggin' close, man. We're so close. We got everything else, all the other boxes checked off. Stream for 8 hours, demolished it. We're at 170. Stream for 7 different days, we're on 21. We're solid. Average of 3 viewers, we're on 2 out of 3. That is the sticking point, believe it or not. So every follow helps. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm not trying to rant about the subreddit or anything. Like I go and I post my stuff there because I hope that like by getting some people that are like by showing people like, hey, on every single class you can get to CT15 like fairly easily. Like, just get to CT15. Like, if we can just help some people get to CT15, then like oh, god damn it, wrong shotgun out, piece of garbage. Then maybe people will be a little bit more positive. Constructive feedback. Obviously, people are upset. Some people paid money. Some people got on Game Pass. Whatever. But like the constructive, just trying to get it more constructive, I guess is what I'm saying. Less conspiracies. More like, all right, this is an actual issue. Let's fix it. Because the way this game started, even though, despite the inventory wipe and the server issues, the amount of quality of life stuff and like content that it does have in comparison to other looter shooters that came before it is pretty extensive. And if they just didn't have those issues, if they could just, fix up some of those problems, they'd be set. It's a shame. So I'm hoping people stick it out because I really like this game. I enjoy it. I like making the different builds. And obviously, the negativity on a subreddit, you gotta remember it's a vocal minority as well. But it's not like people there are all wrong either. I'm sure there are issues. It's just about trying to determine which ones are people actually having issues and which ones are people just, raging about the game for no reason. That's where the difficulty comes in, I guess. But I'm hoping that with these budget builds, that people can get unstuck and actually enjoy the parts of the game that are dope, like endgame. I think endgame is the best part of any looter shooter. And anybody that can't go and participate in it, it's just like fucking depressing. Even like Destiny raids, like that's why I make the friggin' Destiny raid guides too. It's like 1% of Destiny players play raids. That's like fucking crazy to me because that's the only reason why I would touch Destiny. You know? Like time trials don't have to be miserable. You know? They can be fun. But thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I don't even know how I got started on that tangent, but... And I'm not saying legendary endgame builds aren't good either. I mean, I got a build for this Pyromancer one. But... you know... Once people got to get to the legendaries first. All right, sorry. Let me catch up in the chat.
The elevator should lead to the heart of the facility.
But yeah, Chaos Guns, thank you for the thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. And what's up, Tokyo Bleeds? How are you doing, man? Lethal Llama found you from the dev build. Posted on the sub. Yeah, I mean, it's for people that want to climb, you know. And that's why I have to preface in every single time I post one of those guides and in the videos, like, not trying to be rude at all, but I don't give a fuck about, like, people who are like, oh, you know, don't use emergency stance. Oh, you're using blighted rounds, whatever. It's like, it's not, if you're complaining about that shit, then the shit wasn't created for you. You know what I mean? The whole point is get to fucking CT15 as fast as possible, as easily as possible, using whatever way possible. The amount of comments I get talking about emergency stance is just like, anybody will use any excuse. Some people just want to be negative. And if you don't want to use E-Stance, that's totally fine. Perseverance, Shield, all the other mods still work. But E-Stance, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying to climb, fucking rock that shit until they nerf it, bro. Like, what are we talking about? This game, we're not playing, you know, we're not playing croquet for the queen. We're playing a fucking looter shooter, and we're trying to get your ass to endgame. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's, you know, I don't care if you gotta sell your grandma in order to get there. We're just trying to get you there. Game gets a lot of hate because some games turned out at launch, but I think this game is a great game, very addicting. Dude, I think it has good bones. I think they just really need to, you know, they gotta solve some of the, they gotta restore people's inventory, first off, and then they need to fix some of the quality of life stuff. I would really like to see randomized legendaries, honestly. That's like #1 on my list. They should make it what they need to do is they need to aim to be the Diablo of looter shooters. Don't go and try and be a Destiny copycat. Don't go and try and be in a Division copycat. None of that shit. Just be the Diablo of looter shooters. And sorry, I promise I'm reading chat. I'm just working my way down while I'm trying to do this, which I guess is probably why I'm not getting a sub 6 right now, but that's okay. So we can just chill and wait for Ash Blast to come off cooldown. I feel like I'm stuck at CT8, like I can't progress any further. B-Boy Bull, what is your what's your build, broski? If you post your build or whatever class you're at, I can
What did you do with it?
walk you through what you got to change.
take a look.
Alternatively, I've got the budget builds in the description below if you want to check any of those out. Otherwise, I can just explain it to you. On CT10, got a Firebolt build. I'm in the process of going AP. Yeah, the volcanic rounds is cool. It's cool. It's just, it is harder to build for, honestly. Enjoy the game. Hopefully don't go down like Anthem. I don't think it's going to go down like Anthem, if I'm being honest. I think people jump to that, but I feel like people who think it's going to go down like Anthem don't remember how fucking awful Anthem was. And I'm not saying that as an Anthem hater. I'm saying that as somebody who really wanted Anthem to be good. Like, I mean, we had somebody in the chat earlier who literally started following my channel when I was making Anthem content. Like, that game had, you know, literally they could have been still rocking, and they went for profits over players and screwed themselves out of a fucking amazing franchise. You know, the difference, the biggest difference, right, is Anthem could come out with Anthem 2 and there's still a bajillion people who would not go back to it because you can't trust those developers. You can't trust them. That was the problem. So all the other shit that they did, that's one thing. If your game is crashing or whatever, like, I know people think that you shouldn't be having those at launch for games and that, you know, we gotta have self-respect and whatever, but it's gonna happen. But it's the fact that they lost the trust of the player base. When you start doing stealth shit, when you nerf legendary drop rates stealthily, right? That's what they did in Anthem. The early access period for Origin players, legendaries were dropping like crazy. Masterworks, because legendaries didn't exist back then. Masterworks were dropping like crazy, popping out like daisies. All the reviews were great because everyone's getting Masterworks and shit. And then the day that the main population of the game gets their Masterworks, I mean, gets to actually play the game, everybody on console or wherever else, whoever wasn't playing on Origin, they nerfed the Masterwork drop rates into the ground. Literally for months. And then, oh, people are farming, people are farming chests, patch. People are farming loot caves, patch. People are farming the beginning of, I don't know, strongholds, is that what it's called? And they patched that. Meanwhile, the game is bricking people's consoles, literally. Their microtransaction prices were absurd. Remember, the cosmetic shop stayed that way until the game died, by the way. They never dropped those prices. That's how you can tell exactly what they were going after. Right? And they never copped to it. Never. They always just said, no, we didn't trust with drop rates. Meanwhile, the developers are literally on stream getting purple drops when they're trying to show off new content. And then none of their roadmap ended up happening. They had zero endgame. The difference is, these developers from the jump, regardless of how you think they've handled shit, every single change that they've made, or any issue, they've been 100% transparent. As far as we can tell, they've been 100% transparent. Even though they're eating an absolute shit sandwich from the community, they're still going out and tweeting, and the community manager is still going onto Reddit and eating a shit sandwich from the community. They're still they're at the very least being transparent. Which makes it so I can at least get behind if they need to fix the game. And that's not saying it's a good thing what they're doing. It's not saying that they handled everything great. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not defending them in any way. I'm just saying that's the difference between Anthem and this. Is that if, say this game died tomorrow, if they put out an Outriders 2, I'd still play the shit out of it. You know? I'm sorry, I will read the chat in a moment. They banned a bunch of players from chess farms as well. Yeah, I mean, the way that BioWare / EA handled Anthem, it was just a fucking mess. And on, like, legit, that I don't think the video's still available on my channel. I might have taken it off. But that was literally, like, one of my first Anthem videos was, is Anthem gonna be dead at launch because of their roadmap and because of their end game? I got a shitload of, because if you remember, Anthem defenders were the biggest defenders ever. I mean, up until the game literally died a month ago. You know, you couldn't say a bad thing about Anthem. And, you know, you can just tell. It's like a looter shooter needs an endgame. And that's the thing. Outriders at least has an endgame. You might not like timed runs. But the basis of the powers, the basis of the crafting, the basis of the skills and how cool they look, flow of combat in general, aside from, you know, some buggy shit, is solid. They can add more stuff. But you can't fabricate shit out of thin air, you know? Played Destiny for the Crucible. I played Destiny for a bunch of things. Truthfully. I mean, I put a bunch of time into Destiny, but I'm not one of the... I got people on my friends list who play Destiny 24/7 throughout the entire year, no matter what content is out, and I'm just not one of those people. I play it, and I no life it when the content is actually good. Like, I do it with the raids, you know? I really like... I like raids. I like hard content. I don't like doing chores. You know what I mean? What's wrong with using emergency stance? So emergency stance is, you know, if people aren't aware what it does, best defensive mod in the game. If you get to 30% health, it drops you into, it activates Golem, the skill from the Devastator tree that reduces your damage taken by 65%. People have been running it since launch, but it wasn't until like maybe like a week ago, maybe, that people thought it was bugged, where you see the shield icon. Actually, you can't see it because my friggin' webcam, but basically you might be able to see it. But beneath my webcam, where the buff bar is, there's a shield icon. And people think that because that shield icon remains persistent after emergency stance has been activated, they think that that emergency stance's 65% damage reduction is permanent after you've activated it, after it's been activated for the first time. I haven't done any testing. I have no idea. I just agree that it must be bugged, because there's no reason to fight with people over it. It's on the screen. It could be a UI thing. It could be an actual damage bug. But if it is, it's going to get patched eventually. And if it's not, it's still the best defensive mod in the game. And even if it does get fixed, it's going to be the best defensive mod in the game. But basically, that's what people are complaining about. I don't know why they would complain about something that is helpful to them, but they do. Some people don't want to use bugged stuff or potentially bugged stuff, and that's totally fine. But if you're going to climb and people are upset about stuff that they're nerfing in this game and you're struggling to climb, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you not to use the best possible shit.
What did you do with it?
Just because some dude ats me in my comments and says, this only works because of emergency stance.
You saved some lives,
You know what I mean?
Ryder. I would expect nothing less from you.
So, on my budget builds, it's the best defensive mod in the game right now. Bugged or not, it's the best defensive mod in the game. If you don't want to use it, there's plenty of good defensive mods that do a very similar thing. Perseverance Shield makes it so when you drop to 30% HP, you get a shield instead. Totally fine. Damage Absorber is another great one. It just increases your armor massively. Totally fine. Combining Damage Absorber and either of those two, you're going to be super tanky. But Again, the whole point of this channel, this series, and the budget builds below is getting people that are struggling to CT15, no matter what the fuck it takes, in the easiest way possible, because that's what's fun about the game, right? There's no PvP. It's about going and making yourself broken OP so you can run shit like this in 3 minutes. So I'm gonna tell you straight up, like, as long as it's not a fucking, something that's gonna crash your game or a hack or something, like, I'm gonna tell you, this is the fastest route from point A to point B. Hey, Lethal Llama, thanks for hanging out here, broski. And I promise I'm reading the chat, guys. I'm just, whenever I read a comment, I'm just trying to answer it fully. So, so that's the deal with emergency stance. And so some people are, some people who want to be super negative are like, oh, you're using Golem, emergency stance, whatever. And it's like, all these builds, they still work without emergency stance. There's plenty of defensive mods you can use, but emergency stance is the best one. So use it. Don't, unless you really don't want to use anything that you think might be bugged, that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. But the goal for the target audience for this is people who don't give a shit. People who are trying to get to CT15 and enjoy their game. People who are trying to run fun builds, overpowered builds. I'm not going to tell people not to take this. I'm going to tell them to use it because it's good. And so that's the current situation with emergency stance. And you'll see it in my comment section probably. People going, "Oh, Golem mod." It's like, yeah, like, you think I give a fuck? Like, I'm trying to help people get CT15. The amount of people that tell me, "Oh man, I was stuck at CT6, but now I'm now I'm CT15, and I got my Acara set." Like, thank you. That shit grossly outweighs anybody who's like, "Oh, it's using emergency stance." Like, I don't give a fuck, right? But that's why I make a comment on all those builds, on all those guides, and all those videos, because I'm just like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. I feel Legendary should have 3 mods. What's your opinion? I feel like it'd be mega broken if it did. I think at the very least, Legendary should be randomized. Because, how many of you guys have an Akari 3-piece set, but you don't have the 3 pieces that have anomaly power? You got max health. Like, that fucking sucks. Like, I think that maybe they should go... Some people don't like the randomized because they think it's going to make the grind more arduous. I disagree. I think it's going to make it so if you get a legendary that normally would be shit, it's not shit. And it's going to make it so that people can keep farming this game. It's going to be like Diablo, where it's like you can get legendaries easily, but you can go and keep grinding to try and get that perfect rolled legendary, whereas right now you can't. So I would be even fine with the first drop you get of a legendary be the developer curated normal roll like all of them are now, and then all the duplicates are randomized with random stats so that you could have anomaly, skill leech, and cooldown reduction on this piece instead of status power, or instead of having like friggin' irradiation wave on this waste clause of Akari, you could have tidal wave. Tips on how to beat Eye of the Storm. I'm stuck and can't beat it. Eye of the Storm, I'm assuming you're talking about the second part. You kind of just gotta fucking keep your distance, honestly. I haven't spent a ton of time in solo Eye of the Storm because you can't gold it solo, and that's really all I care about, And otherwise, it's just not worth the time. I'd rather farm legendary stuff, But for that last section, I don't know what your class is, but those 2 fucking mini bosses are a pain in the ass. Their tracking is like ridiculous. So if you want to get gold in Eye of the Storm, impossible to do it solo. So just hop in, make a random group, and have people join you. But otherwise, on that last part, you gotta just like, there's like a hill to the right of where the boss spawns. You can kind of run up there and like kite the mini bosses a little bit, get them out of the way, and then just hit the boss. But that would be my suggestion, I guess. What they need to nerf in this game is those flying birds and bugs. Amen, bro. Amen. The dragonflies are fucking awful, and the birds are the worst if you have a bullet build. The birds, like, that is the bane of blighted rounds and twisted rounds builds everywhere. Never tested, but when it activates for me, I feel unkillable. Well, when emergency stance activates for you, you should feel unkillable because a 65% damage reduction is friggin' insane. Straight up, it's just bonkers. The question is it actually permanent, or is it just a UI, or is it just a UI bug? I don't know, and I honestly don't care because it's like I'll probably run it anyway because a 65% damage reduction, like. A 65% damage reduction for 4 seconds every 10 seconds means you only have a 6-second window where you're actually vulnerable to damage. Like, that's nutty. Watching that overheat just take out the rest of the map is just amazing. Hell yeah, bro. That's the goal for the pyro builds, man. That's the goal. Go and run the budget build in the description. Get your 3 Acara pieces. If you can get the top 3 and you can get Master Consumer, then, you know, then run this build. If not, use your 3 pieces on the budget build and steamroll that way until you get this. What do you think of the juggler? I think the juggler is just, it's okay. If you don't have, like, you know, any other on hit things, like for a little while I was running Scrap Grenade and Shadow Comet, so I would just swap between the 2. But Scrap Grenade is it only works after a reload, you know, so it's kind of like but a lot of Eye of the Storm builds use it so that they can pop the little anomaly bubbles in like 1 hit, but it's totally up to you. It's not bad. As far as like an actual DPS weapon, like if you're a firepower build, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I think it is a UI bug because it doesn't feel like a damage reduction unless it's procced. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know, and it's like I'm not gonna stop recommending it to people. You know what I mean?
I got something I
Oh, she's almost was nerfed the only good and useful armor set for Pyro instead of buffing all the other crappy ones. The intelligence of these skills are simply beyond me. I mean, I don't know. I could see them doing it, but at the same time, I don't. They would have. So here's the deal, right? From a game design perspective and an actual balance perspective, it's stronger than anything else in the game, right? From a PR perspective, it would take some brass balls to nerf anything right now. Do we agree on that? I mean, like, it would take, you know, it would take some serious cojones to go and toss another round of nerfs at people when their inventories still haven't been restored and people are still having connectivity issues. If you go and you take the set that everybody's farming for and you nerf it, before you fix anything else and you're not buffing anything else, good fucking luck. People will not be pleased. You know? Hey, Alvaro and Bjorn, thank you guys for the subs on YouTube. Appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Anybody has any build problems or they're stuck, please let me know. Someone earlier in the chat said they were stuck, but nobody said anything, so I don't know if you still need help or not. Damn, we're getting subs up the wazoo. Holy cannoli. Like, 8 of them just came in at once. It's gotta be some Streamlabs shit fucking up. But it's like, yeah, from a balance perspective, I mean, nothing is coming close to this build, right? But like, but it's not like it's easy to get either. You know? Like, a big part of them nerfing the blighted builds and the bullet builds seemed to be that it was requiring minimal investment, whereas this is whoops, screwed up there. You know, getting the legendary pieces, getting everything together is a bit different. Requires a lot more moving parts. I have no idea how that captain ended up down there. This is definitely going to slow our speed run. We're 100% not getting a personal record here. That's okay, though. How do you guys feel about expedition timers? I see a lot of people saying they hate expedition timers too.
What the hell does that
But it's
feel
like that's what they designed the game for, you know?
It's like I've wandered into some maniac's idea of a party. Would you look at that? There's a pod here.
Stop repeating the same thing over and over. Hey man, we're just having a discussion. All for the timers because it makes me have a goal. No good anomaly build for Trickster without legendaries. I have not workshopped an anomaly build for Trickster without legendaries yet. That is one of the, it's one of the builds I want to work on. I just have not gotten the chance to.
Cullen, the bandit leader.
I'll probably have a anomaly. I'll probably have a firepower build for Trickster that doesn't require any tier 3s or legendaries out like this weekend. But the anomaly one will take some time because anomaly Trickster is it's a little on the tough side, honestly. Like I don't. Whereas like when I was looking at anomaly Pyro, I was like, okay, like this thing could be wicked strong. When I look at anomaly Trickster, even though I want to be good, I really desperately want to run a Beyblade build. The damage output is not mega promising, but I definitely want to work on one, and I will be sure to let you know, Karen, if I mean, look, let's be real, I'm 100% gonna fucking do it. I'm 100% gonna work on it. I just don't have one yet. Long story short. In my opinion, I think the timers will make the expeditions interesting. Yeah, so, I mean, my thing with the expeditions is that's how they were designed. I would rather see suggestions on how to, on other possible, like, modes, or making other parts of the game accessible to different builds, than have them remove timers from expeditions, because again, it's one of those things where I feel like the people that want the timers removed, speed runs and those types of expeditions and whatever, they of course affect build diversity. That's just how it is. It's the same thing in WoW Mythic Plus. People try and pick the fastest way to do things. And that's totally fine. But it does limit build diversity. You can't just have a tank build. The other side of the coin, though, is the game is like, what situation could you put someone in where they want to, where it would be permissible to run an all tank build? It's hard. You don't have anything that generates threat in this game, you know? Straight up pagans. Okay. You, like, in order to have a true tank build and to make it useful, you have to have a form of aggro or threat generation. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else has played an MMO or WoW or anything that actually has tanks, but like the way that this game was designed wasn't so that you could go and have a tank. You can have a tank of your class, like a Devastator that can have Golem up all the time. But I think that people feel like you could go and run like Middle Tree Devastator and do no damage and still be helpful in some way, and there's just not really a game mode where that's going to be useful unless there's a way for a Devastator to taunt enemies. And there is nothing like that in the game. But I would rather them go and be like, oh hey, here is a survival mode. Here is a horde mode. Rather than, alright, let's yank the plug on timed expeditions. Because timed expeditions, people are saying like, oh man, I farmed all the legendaries and like I got nothing to do. I mean, some people are. I don't know how the fuck, but some people are. Or like they just don't like the repetition. But it's like, that's what this encapsulates. This is what the end game is. The end game is, all right, like I have a decent build now, and then I go and I make a better build, and then I make a better build, and then I have a min-max build, like something like this. And then it's like, all right, how can I get faster and faster times? And then it's a personal goal. It's like, I want to get a faster clear speed on Boomtown. I want to get a faster clear speed on Chemplant. It's like, I want to try and do that same thing with an AP Trickster. I want to try and do that same thing with the Top Tree Pyro. You know? Is the only viable way of getting legendaries expeditions? No. The best way of farming like all the legendaries, in my opinion, is farming CT15 expeditions. I think the best way to farm like materials, whatever, is the top tier expeditions. But it's not the only viable way. You can go and run hunts in story mode and also get legendaries, legendary armor pieces. Granted, we've already been over this a bunch of times, but if you're going for specific class legendaries, hunt's probably not the way to go, because the loot is definitely scuffed. You can also run wanted missions and reset those for a guaranteed legendary. Those are two ways of getting guaranteed legendaries outside of expeditions. There's also a number of side quests that let you do it. But CT15 expeditions is where the legendaries really like rain from the skies. Edge of Time Trickster build is my favorite, but a little hard time to set up. I didn't mean any offense, mate. Just giving a little tip. You guys agree, amazing. Hey, no problem, dude. I'm not offended at all. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I ramble, but I'm just trying to get a point across. That's all. And then I go and I'll like read the chat, and then I'll go down like 4 more chats, and I'll see like a response to it. And so like it probably comes off as me repeating, which obviously isn't a good look, but it's just my thought process of like, oh, here's the continuation of the conversation. You know what I mean? In my head, it's 2 separate events, but when I'm saying it on stream, it's just one long stream of consciousness. You know? Thing is, expeditions is simply go here and kill everything, move on, and rinse and repeat. Yeah, I mean, the expeditions, they're supposed to be challenging, and the time trial is supposed to make it more challenging. I totally understand, though. There's some people who are like, hey, I want to run, I want to run a tank build. I want to run a support build. And it's like, that's more for co-op. But the thing is, right? Went over it a little bit, but say they make a horde mode. Are people gonna want to have a tank on their team? Like a pure tank that does no damage and can't do aggro control? Or are they gonna want to have 3 people that can kill enemies as fast as possible, because the name of this game is you know, be aggressive. That's why all the healing mechanics are based off of aggression, right? So it's like, okay, if they go and they make a horde mode, like everyone's requesting, are we going to get the same complaints? There's a very high possibility, because it's just, you know, it's trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. Square peg in a round hole, whatever it is. What Destiny did right is that raid of puzzles, not just go here and kill, go there. Yeah, I agree. Look, I like Destiny. I like Destiny raids. I think raids in any MMO, I think it's fun content, you know. But these aren't what, you can't compare these to raids, right? It's more like Mythic Plus in WoW. Okay, thanks, because I want to farm for the legendary melee set for Trickster, but I don't feel like struggling to get C15. Need the Acara boots mod. Yeah, the Acara boots mod, man. Master consumer, you gotta grab that shit. But yeah, like, you know, in WoW, you have raids, which are obviously, it's like a 20-man activity. Everyone's fighting against bosses. Every boss has different mechanics. It takes guilds months, like literally 6 months to get through it all. But then you also have a bunch of dungeons, and then WoW in recent expansions introduced Mythic Plus, which is basically timed dungeons with a set amount of enemies that you have to kill, and certain enemies you can skip. And then they also have different modifiers on those dungeons. And then you have to complete it within the timer to get loot. And if you complete it within a certain period of time, then you'll get extra loot. And that's what this is more comparable to. And you run into a similar thing there, where it's like, okay, I have, you know, am I going to bring somebody that does no damage comparatively, but like, oh, they're my friend, or do I bring somebody that is going to do, that is just a higher damage output? And those, the friends that aren't running optimal builds, they still work, but, you know, for those try-hard people, or for just like people, you know, say just randoms in LFG, you know, they're booting Devastators and shit, even though a Devastator can clear just as good. It's just the stigma. But you're going to run into those similar situations. But the answer isn't to remove the timers. The answer is additional game modes that can somewhat benefit those other players. You know? But it's tough, because that was the end game that they envisioned. That's the end game that was being sold 12 months ago. You know? Well, that was weird. I thought my character just died for some reason. Just froze there. Creepy. Division was probably my favorite looter shooter when it came to like raids or just the Dark Zone. Leveling Devastator right now out of spite. Dude, I mean, that, like, literally, I made that melee only Devastator build. I made it a lot harder than it had to be, just because so many people were posting and saying, hey, you know, like, I'm getting kicked out of dungeons. Oh, what am I doing here? Messing up. Can't be standing that shit. That shit will kill you. You know what I mean? So many people are saying, "Oh, Dev is trash. Dev is trash. They can't do anything." And it's like, all right, if I can climb to CT15 using only melees, then the class can't be total trash. You know? And so that's what we did. And if you talk to a dev who has, you know, who's stuck it out and actually has, you know, their seismic set or statue set, then they're cruising through CT15s. They got some great clear times. And they're super safe. They get a ton of healing. But it's just the stigma.
More of them.
Division was probably my favorite looter shooter when it came to raids or Dark Zone. Division 1 I mean, look, I always got love for Division, and I just love looter shooters in general. Division 1, those devs, they fucked up at launch, right? They pulled the same shit that the Anthem people did, where they were like, oh, you guys are having fun, you're going and you're farming. Hey, thank Collins. Appreciate it, broski. I really appreciate the follows on Twitch, guys. It means a lot. I'm so close to affiliate. If anybody has any questions about builds or anything like that, please toss them out there. Like, there's no stupid questions, like nothing like that. Nothing's too basic. Like, if you post your build or tell me what you need help with, like, I got you. I'm telling you. But thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I mean, I love Division. The problem is that, you know, those devs, they saw, hey, oh, you guys are farming, I don't remember the name of the guy at the first one. I don't think it was Bullet King. I think it was Bullet something. I don't freaking remember the NPC, but people farm the crap out of this one NPC for, you know, for exotic weapons and shit. And then, and for a good chance at high ends. And so they nerfed him. And then they found another spot, and they nerfed that spot. And then the game was having tons of problems, and they were going around and nerfing everything. And they lost the community. The community just straight up fucking died because there was nothing else to do. And then those devs, they learned. It took them legit a year, but they go and they release, what was it, like patch 1.08, I think? Where they added in a bunch of gear sets. The gear sets were like fun, and they made the build diversity cool. They were powerful. Everybody felt broken. You had all kinds of crazy people running around in the dark zone. They had global events that, like, people would go and you'd run around, and like I spent so many nights like running around with my buddy in the dark zone with a bunch of classifieds, like freaking out about people around the corner, like trying to steal them and shit. And like it revitalized the game. Like, it brought the game back from straight up death. And so you see Division 2 coming out, and you're like, damn, like, they're gonna learn. They already learned from their mistakes. Like, they got this. And then Division 2, it was like, what the hell, man? Like, did you guys learn nothing? Like, they just made everything worse. And then, you know, the build system was cool, but it was like, shit, dude. Like, you went and you made it, like, there's a crafting system that's better now, but you made it so hard to make builds because of the color coding. And then what did they do? The first patch, they nerfed a bunch of builds, and it's like, it was already like trying to fit a fucking jigsaw puzzle together in order to get like a really good set. And then you basically reset everybody's builds back to 0. And I was just like, fuck. You know, it bummed me out so much. And the classifieds that they released, or the gear sets that they released with the start of Division 2 were fucking trash, right? Like, Patriot set, like the set bonuses were not good enough to make up for sacrificing high-end gear, whereas in Division 1 it was like, oh, I'll run strikers, and I would run predators and like bleed people. My buddy would run strikers and just run on people with shotgun, or somebody would be like, one of your buddies would be running nomads, and nomads made it so if you went down you would be brought back to life. Like, you'd have all these cool combinations, and the sets were like worth it. And then the sets were just worthless in D2. And I don't know the current state of the game. I farmed the shit out of that. I farmed Warlords of New York a ton too, but then I just kind of stopped. But, you know, this game, they go and Outriders kind of, like, I think with a lot of stuff, they hit the nail on the head. They had a solid end game. Some people don't like the timers, but they had a solid end game. They have a place, they had a vision for it where you could farm. You get a bunch of legendaries. Whether or not some people are saying that shit's bugged or whatever and they're not getting any legendaries, I don't understand that, but you guys can kind of see I'm getting plenty of them. You know, they have a solid one. The class fantasy is there. The builds are there. The crafting is there. They just need to iron out the bullshit, and they got to restore people's inventories. And the game is set, you know? We just got to bring the community back from the brink right now. That's really what it is. And so that's what those budget builds are for. Not enough gear sets in Outrider should be 2, 3, and 5 gear sets. Dude, so I agree. I think that there was a lot of gear sets that were data mined that would have been really dope to build for, right? Like I think the number one that probably sticks out in a bunch of people's minds is the gear set that made it so Tool of Destruction could proc blighted rounds. And so if you could run around with Tool of Destruction and blighted rounds, like that's just cool. Even if Tool of Destruction sucks right now. Like that's cooler than going and having what's the set bonus now? It's like, oh, if you hit something with a friggin' pain launcher, you get half of your ammo back in Tool of Destruction, and it's only for one usage. Like, that's shitty, you know? Division 1 had one instance where you could set a shield, glitch through a wall, and infinite farm the boss at the end. Yep, I remember it, bro. That came right after the Bullet King farm. I think it was Bullet King was the name. Something. He was a roaming NPC at the beginning of D1. Sorry, Volan Gaming. Let me, do we keep the Acara gloves and boots or dismantle them? I just got them. It's totally up to you. If you have the other pieces, then I would keep them. Well, no. If you have like the 3-piece, right, and you need Master Consumer, this thing, then I would dismantle the one with Master Consumer. And the Akari gloves, I don't think they have anything particularly good, right? But if you're running, say, the budget build, right, it's going to be a long time until you, well, not a long time, sorry, but it takes a while to get the 3-piece, you know, the top 3-piece Akari and then like Master Consumer and all the other shit like lined up to actually make the build that I'm running effective, right, in comparison to the budget build. It's not something where you can just like skip straight to it. But the budget build, if you just have any of those 3 pieces, even if it's max health, which is not what you want at all, you can afford to run one max health piece just to complete your Akari set because the damage bonus is that good. And it'll make your life a lot better. You have the bottom 3 only at the moment, but you have the set piece? But you have the set, I mean, sorry. If you have the set, I would keep those until you get the top part, and then just run the budget build that's below the mid tree anomaly pyromancer, because you're gonna be destroying shit. And if you find you're not really caring for the max health rolls, then you can dismantle them if you want. I would dismantle the boots eventually once you get this set so that you can put Master Consumer on something else, and then you can run this build. But until you have that, if you just have the 3-piece Akari, the budget build will just be supercharged, and you'll be able to, like, you'll see the damage increase is fucking insane. Like, your anomaly power will go from, like, I'm at a 170, which I showed it earlier, it gets up to like 600k. So I would rock that. I would rock that build until you can get all these pieces. Like, you gotta have Master Consumer, you gotta have Detonator, you know? So I would run that set until you can do that. Even though in general 99.9% of cases I would say do not touch anything with max health on it. The Akari set bonus is like really massive. So yeah. What's up, PJ Kaiser? My favorite budget build, I gotta, so Melee Devastator is, you know, it's probably boring to watch, it's probably boring to play because you're just punching stuff, but it is fun knowing that, like, you're playing what most people consider to be, you know, or what most people think of as, like, oh, you know, Devastator's not good, and then you're running it and you're just punching stuff and it's really hard to die. So I like Melee Devastator, but as far as fun is concerned and class fantasy is concerned, budget Pyromancer. The budget Pyromancer build, I think that has to be my favorite. Because it's so simple to put together. And it fits that spellcaster, you know, class fantasy that most people, that's the reason why they pick Pyromancer. If I had to bet money on it, I would probably bet that people pick Pyro because they want to go and toss out a bunch of friggin' eruptions and hit people with Kamehamehas, right? I'm guessing that the majority of people didn't run Pyro and say, I want to go and use volcanic rounds. I want to shoot bullets. And so, like, the mid-tree build lets people do that from level 1 all the way to CT15 with minimal change, super low cooldowns. You're just throwing out fireballs and everything the whole time. When you do get an Acara set bonus, you can just toss it on there no matter what pieces you get. And you only have to replace like 3 or 4 mods. So it's really easy to adapt to. And then that bonus, then the build gets taken up another notch that you can use to farm everything else really fast. And then after that, you can go and switch over to this overheat build, or you can keep running that build. Because that build still has good times. And it's a lot safer. This build is much more risky. Oh, I think I just messed up. Did I mess up? Yep. This build is a lot more risky. You're not as tanky. You don't have as much skill leech. Your cooldowns are not as low. Whereas that other build, man, it's just like, there's something about it where it's just like, you're just zipping. You're just zipping. You're just launching fireballs. Like, you can't die. You're punching shit. You're hitting everything with heat waves. So I hope that answers your question, PJ. I'm at CT11. I'm gonna try and get those other parts. Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, if you're CT11, you got those Akari pants, man. You're set, broski. Like, legit, just take that budget build, and keep leveling up, and you're gonna go and absolutely friggin' cruise. You're gonna cruise to CT15 if you already got Akari pieces and you're there. I mean, I cruised to CT15 with that build on stream in 5 hours. You know, from level 26 to CT15. And I didn't have an Akari set, or I didn't let myself use an Akari set. If you've got that, like, bro, you're going to be flying, I promise. When you hit CT14, just run Arcways or something. It's going to be the easiest gold for you. Chem Plant's really fun until you get to that point because everything kind of lines up, as you can see. But let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know if it helped. Hey, Aegolis, thank you for the follow. And Vera Frangas, thank you for the follow as well, my friend. Those Twitch follows are so appreciated. You guys have no idea. The majority of my audience watches on YouTube, and that's totally fine. It's just, you know, it's nice to have people on Twitch because it's just so much harder to grow and get people to hang out there, you know. We're just trying to get as many people to CT15 as possible. This is not going to be one of our faster runs, unfortunately, but that's okay. Do you want every legendary twice in the game? Hey, no problem, PJ. Having duplicates certainly helps. I would say, yeah, a good rule of thumb would be to be having every legendary twice. Some of them you don't need to, you know, but like for Death Shield, for example, having the Fortress mod is awesome. But to be optimal, right, you'd probably want to put Fortress on another piece so that you get that damage bonus whenever on whatever weapon you have equipped. But that way you can, you know, the only way you're going to be able to do that is with the original weapon plus another weapon that you can slot it onto, if that makes sense. Love the budget power video. Thanks for doing that. Hey, no problem, dude. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. I'm just doing it to make it easier for people. New CT15 and grip on my Techno is still stuck around CT13 soul. Just got to get some sets going. With Techno, I would stay away from sets. I dropped a budget Techno video today just because someone requested it on Reddit. Someone sent me a message and said, "Hey, do you have a budget Techno?" I was like, I mean, I have my old Techno build, but it's not. It has tier 3s in it. So then I just took the tier 3s off today and ran a CT15 just to show you could do it. But you can go and follow that if you want to, dude. I mean, I don't know if your budget, I don't know if you're Anomaly Power Techno or what. I have no idea, but I'm assuming you're Blighted Rounds Techno. And in that case, having a legendary set would actually be detrimental to your build, because they are Techno legendary sets, especially ones involving firepower, are not good. That's the unfortunate thing about Techno, is their legendary sets are actually like probably the worst in the whole game. And sorry if I don't immediately read your comment. I'm just trying to do the game and answer other questions at the same time, so I promise I will get to it. Is that guy gonna die? Nope. Awkward. But yeah, if you post your build, Danny, I'm sure I can help you, or you can look at the budget Techno build. You're welcome. Reddit sent me your way last night. The budget build helped me get out of World Tier 15. Hey, nice, Volan. That's great, dude. So with 2 legendaries, dismantle 1 and keep 1. Yeah, that would be my recommendation if you had duplicates. And some legendaries, look, some legendaries just aren't good, right? In which case, if you wanted to, you could dismantle both. But you never know what's going to become powerful and what's not going to become powerful. So, my general rule of thumb would be keep 1, dismantle the other one. Because you wouldn't run like double, right? Like I wouldn't run double Death Shield.
The insurgents had a functioning power cell down here.
What did you do with it?
It's disabled.
Can I see your build? This is my build, broski.
You saved some lives today, Outrider. I would expect nothing less from you.
This is my endgame pyro build. I do like a full breakdown in another video on my channel. I keep referencing that stuff, but like I'm just saying it so that you guys actually understand. Like, if you have any other questions, I talk about it more in depth. How does your game not crash? Do you have it installed on an SSD? I'm playing on Xbox. No SSD at all. I'm playing on the Series X. I've had very little problems with it. I mean, everybody gets crashes sometimes, but I wouldn't be able to tell. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell you how many I've had because it's been so few. You know. One sec, the wife just got home. 1 second. Do I have a video on the upgrade pyro? Yeah, all of them are on my channel, Rod. Let me make sure. I think it's in the description of this stream, right? Should be. If you look like below me, the endgame pyro should be there. It's called, or it's just, if you just go to my channel, it's like literally just as Outriders Quick Guide, best Pyromancer build for speedrunning. And I didn't even have death, what do you call it, at the time. I didn't even have Death Shield at the time. But now I do. And that is infinitely more useful. Death Shield is obviously extremely helpful. But this is, again, have to say this. This is the build, you know, that you run like end game for Pyro. This is like straight up just you're trying to speed run shit. And you're not caring as much about survivability. You know? Otherwise, that budget build is going to do a lot more work for you. Hey, Volan, thank you for the follow on Twitch, dude, man. Awesome. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And Soulmark, appreciate you too, broski. Seriously, guys. Putting in work today. But, thank you, everybody who's hopping from YouTube to Twitch for me. I appreciate it. We might get affiliate after this stream. Who knows?
Like in the good old days. My soldiers will take heart seeing you fight by their side again.
We're close. It's possible.
Everything you see, and don't stop until you've wiped out every last
Opinion on the Torturers set. That's the what? This is the thermal bomb set. I haven't made a build for it. But I did want to try. Originally, I was really excited for Branded, this thermal bomb mod. Hey, dude, the vid's in device, no problem. Thank you so much for the budget pyro build. It's amazing. Chronon 214s comfortably. Where did you get the Acara chest piece? What expedition? I know it's RNG, but just wondering. My Akari chest piece, I probably got it from Arcways or Coliseum, or maybe even Chemplant. No, it's the Volcanic. Oh, you're talking about Reforged. Reforged, I don't really care for the Volcanics round set bonus, honestly. I don't kind of see the point of it. It doesn't like increase your damage in any way to where you would want to sacrifice, you know, stats for it, right? That's the thing you have to weigh for. That's what you have to weigh for. Ugh, goodness, sorry, word jumble. That's what you have to weigh when you're comparing legendaries to epics, right? And that's why I think legendaries need to be randomized. So you've got a situation where, you know, like look at this for example. Ideally, you would not have healing received on a firepower piece, right? Like that's not what you want. You're dealing damage with bullets. Ideally, like on Technomancer, for example, their legendary sets aren't good. Nothing has the Technomancer God roll, which is firepower, close range, long range, right? And so if nothing has that, the set bonus needs to be spectacular. And so when you look at this set, it's like, is tripling the size of volcanic rounds damaging aura gonna do anything for me? The answer is no, it's not. It's just not. It doesn't increase your damage in any way to the point where you would want to sacrifice your damage somewhere else. Love your YouTube vids. Help me climb CTs. That's awesome, Soulmark. That's what we're here for, dude. I love hearing the, you know, the progress. That's what it's all about. If you have any other questions, feel free to toss them out there, broski. I appreciate the follow. I really do. But back to the legendary sets. So that's really what you weigh when you look at legendary sets. That's why this Akari set in particular is so good. Is that especially the top 3, right? But like the set bonus is actually really strong in comparison to the set bonuses for every other class in the game, right? That set bonus massively amplifies your damage, like by times to the power of 6. right? And so that's why it's like, that's why I can say, hey, you can sacrifice the max health because the set bonus is good. And I think that's what every single set bonus should be. I'm rocking CT15 because of you. That's fucking fantastic, dude. That's what I like to hear. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And if you know anybody else that's struggling, feel free to send them this way. I don't care how stupid of a question or whatever. Like, I'm more than happy to walk people through stuff. You know? We do it for the education. But you know what I mean, Prince? Like, I can say, okay, drop the max. It's fine if you run a max health glove with this, because the damage bonus is that fucking insane. But you will never hear me say, run a max health glove so that you can get, so you can throw an extra shrapnel grenade with the downpour, with torrential downpour set. You'll never hear me say that. What's up, Parker James? How are you doing, bro? But I hope that makes sense. That's basically what I look at whenever I'm comparing a legendary set. Now, like, I haven't done super extensive testing on, like, the Lava Lich set. But it increases the damage of Eruption by 40%. Eruption is okay, but here's the deal. Mid-tree is really strong. You don't need Eruption. And if you're going bottom tree, you can probably just run the Overheat build and do a lot better than the Eruption one, right? Reforged. This is another thing where it's like, this is increasing Thermal Bottom's damage, and that might be significant. And really, the thing that makes the Reforged set somewhat enticing is this branded mod, where enemies affected by the skill receive 40% more damage. 40% more damage is insane, but the fact that you can double bomb someone and give them 80% more damage, that's ridiculous. That's the highest damage amplification of any skill in the entire game. The problem is, like, look at what you're doing. Number one, thermal bomb. Let's be real, people. Raise your hand if thermal bomb is one of the worst skills in the entire game to aim on the correct target. Right? It just sucks. At least on console, it sucks trying to aim. I'm like, oh man, I want to hit this captain with thermal bomb and double bomb him for 80% damage, but then it goes on some random bird next to him. Like, it's rough when you have a build that is when you have a set that's centered around using thermal bomb, but using thermal bomb is kind of jacked, you know. Or you could just run overheat or heat wave and just have no problem. You don't have to aim at all. I'm running an AP Pyro. I'm just needing a bit more AP. Kind of stuck at 112k base. Nice, dude. Yeah, just try and stack up as much. Yeah, see the hands raising. I mean, like, aiming, like, thermal bomb's such a cool ability, right? But, man, it just fucking sucks when you're trying to aim it. And especially, like, if your whole build is centered around that and you miss, it's like you can kiss any kind of gold timer goodbye. And the damage that it does, it has to make up for the fact that it sucks to aim. It's not like it's a one-shot, right? Like, if you don't spec into thermal bomb, your thermal bomb damage is not that great. People have to stay near it. Burger King, where's your sub? I'm not an affiliate yet, broski. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, thank you so much for the follows on Twitch, because I have YouTube membership enabled, but I'm not an affiliate on Twitch. You don't get your sub button until you're an affiliate. I'm like this close. I'm this close. The only thing is, we need an average of 3 viewers per stream, but because in the early days of Outriders, I was streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, and nobody was on Twitch, that, like, I had like 100 hours of streaming with nobody on Twitch, so, like, my average viewership was, like, down here. And right now we're at the average of 2, even though in the past, like, 7 streams we've had like 9 people in the chat. You know what I mean? Thermal Bomb likes to skip small bombs, go straight to brutes for me. Right, like, that's just rough, man. That's just rough. Just having issues getting the right piece, I guess. I have no one to help me run solo. It's hard for me. So what what pieces exactly are you talking about, Parker? What's up, Yuki? Hey, came here from your YouTube budget build video. Struggling CT6. None of the gold AP Pyro vids with T3 were helping. Followed your build and got CT15 one day. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. Thank you for hopping into Twitch chat and follow. I don't know if you followed or not, but thank you for hopping into chat anyway. That's what we like to hear. That's the whole point. You know? People can climb without needing tier 3s and legendaries. And then once you get there, then go buck wild, farm with whatever crazy gold builds you want, you know? Is Tanner hat any good? Is that the one that looks like a little cowboy hat? I don't think any of the generic legendaries are particularly good, but there is I think Tanner hat is the one that has does it have Captain Hunter? Does it come with Captain Hunter? Like if you're running a firepower build, or even if you just want Captain Hunter and oops, I had the wrong shotgun out. Whoopsie. If you're running Captain Hunter is just a super solid mod. So if you want to use that, it's fantastic. If you're running what does it have? Captain Hunter and close range damage increase on it, I think. If you're running that, maybe if you're like a trickster or something, or it could be the one with stare down the barrel. I could be wrong. Ah, there we go. Stare down the barrel is not bad for trickster, because you're really up in people's guts. You know, it's not bad for a lot of stuff if you're running firepower build. But the key word is if you're running a firepower build. And I don't remember the exact stat lines on it, but I think it's probably firepower close range cooldown reduction, if I had to guess. And if I do guess that correct, please don't make fun of me for how much I've been no-lifing this game. Because if I could start guessing legendary stat lines based off of memory, then that's pretty sad. 3 pieces of Acara. I have helmet hands at the moment, that's all. Are you CT15, Parker? Because you don't need the Akari pieces in order to climb. So, you know, don't get stuck just because you're trying to get those Akari pieces. Just slap on some anomaly power stuff. Go check out that AP Pyro budget build, and just rock that until you can actually get the Akari pieces that you want. You know, running a suboptimal Akari thing and trying to not half-ass, but I guess half-ass an overheat build or something when you don't have the correct stuff for it is going to make it take so much longer to actually get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants, I totally understand the feeling of wanting to skip straight to Acara and whatever, but you can straight up get to CT15 and get Acara a lot faster than trying to get Acara when you're CT11 and then, you know, spending 6 days doing that instead of having fun at CT15, you know what I mean? Jeez, these guys are using cryo up the wazoo here, huh? I think that'll kill him. Cool. 25% increase to close range damage. Oh, man. Would you say budget firepower, budget AP is easier to climb with for Pyro? AP. I gotta say it. It's gotta be AP. Because there's so many other things you have to take care of when you're doing budget firepower, especially for Pyro. It doesn't have something easy, an easy route to infinite ammo like Technomancer does, right? Where it's oh, I can just slap on one mod and have infinite ammo. It's you got to slap on like 2 or 3 mods to have infinite ammo with volcanic rounds pyro. And because you're doing that, you're sacrificing a ton of potential firepower and defensive mods too. You know what I mean? Whereas like literally get some decent like anomaly, some half decent anomaly gear. Just like try and get some anomaly power, maybe a little bit of cooldown reduction or status power, and then go mid tree and slap on those 3 or 4 mods, and you're set. You can go straight to CT15, and then you can build on top of that set if you get like 3-piece Acara of any of the 3-piece Acaris. I think it's just easier. And I'm sorry if like I promise you I will read the chat, guys. I'm just I'm trying to look at this screen and the other screen at the same time. Yo, you're still going at it? Hell yeah, bro. What's up, Steve West? Bro, you going to get mad loving the budget build. Owen was trying, didn't even come close to what you accomplished. Yeah, dude, but nobody's. The difference is they've got what do you call it? They have viewership. I'm a literal nobody. You know what I mean? So you can feel free to send Pwn here. Glad to see finally got Death Shield. Yeah, man, it's it took a while. It took a while to get Death Shield. I mean, I don't know if you guys were on stream the other day, but 44 out of 46 legendary weapons acquired, and one of the 2 I didn't have was freaking Death Shield. I have no idea what the last one is. Now that I have Death Shield, I really have no clue. I think we can get sub 6 here. Yay, awesome. We're using to crit for 2 million, OMG. On this build, I have no idea. Am I critting for 2 million?
What did you do with it?
Or are you just talking about like the giant burst procs? I got a pretty min-max build right here. It's not like this is definitely not a budget build. This is the opposite of a budget build. This is a bougie build. What's my opinion on the Lava Lich armor? I don't know. It has some cool perks on it. Ideally, we want another Death Shield. That would be dope. We didn't get one, but that's okay. The go-to Pyro set is for sure Akari. A Lava Lich build could be cool. There's potential. I would like to make one. So like, okay, the helmet and the chest piece both have like decent stats. What about, let's see. And the legs have decent stats too. The problem is that, man, if you're going explosive, it's hard to go eruption when overheat is so good. You know what I mean? That's the issue. Chasing the second Death Shield myself, need that sexy fortress mod. Damn straight, dude. Damn straight. Need the fortress mod. Fortress mod is super nice. You can definitely run this overheat build without the fortress mod, but the damage difference is noticeable once you do get it. Keep animating content. You're insane. That was fast. Thanks, man. I'll take talking about Death Shield. I am in a single drop and don't have the mod at all. You just gotta keep farming, man. It's definitely I mean, it's just one of those games. You gotta farm. You gotta go and get that loot. Hey, Bade. Thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Man or woman, I suppose. It is 2021. Got Death Shield during the story mode, you lucky bastard. Somehow, I mean, I literally got 12 days farming on this game, and it took me about 10 of those in order to actually get Death Shield. Which is just, it's funny. Everything else I pretty much got covered.
Another matter calls for your expertise.
You know? We were beginning to think that I wasn't going to get it. The amount of times that I tried to call it on stream, be like, this is Death Shield. I could make it into a montage because I just called it so many times and it never happened. New Pyro here, trying the budget build to climb, but I'm missing defensive mods like Golem or Shield. Should I be worried? I wouldn't be worried, but you're gonna have to play a little bit safer. You know, if you don't have those, I would definitely like just keep an eye out for blue and epic pieces that could potentially have them. You know, keep looking at the vendors. Like whenever you go into an expedition, look at the vendor. Look at both vendors. Whenever you leave an expedition, look at both vendors. When you're in between expeditions, you can go all the way to Rift Town and look at the extra vendor that's there. And look at that, you know what I mean? Like in terms of if you're trying to farm for gear, like you can look all the way down to greens, right? If you see a green and you're like, damn, that green has anomaly power cooldown reduction and skill leech, or anomaly power cooldown reduction and status power, you're like, all right, I could buy this for 40 grand. Let me go and take it to the crafter, bump up the rarity. Let's see. Oh, maybe I get a decent mod on there. If you get a decent mod on there, bingo, you're set, because whatever the second mod is, it doesn't make a difference. You can swap it out. You know? So it's always good to go and just like, you can look at some of my like previous builds where we're going up to CT15, because I recorded every single one of them, all like taking Trickster CT15, Pyro CT15, Melee Devastator CT15, even like the second Pyro to CT15. You can see like I'm annoyingly at the vendors, because you just don't know what's going to be a god roll and what's not going to be a god roll. So just always be looking. But emergency stance golem is like really, really good. You know? Ideally you want to have some kind of defensive mod on. Something. 12 days in game? Yeah. Remember that green and blue gear can end up as god roll? Absolutely. Just curious, what accolade level are you? That's a great question. The problem with my accolade level is I don't go and do anything in co-op, and I also don't go and do anything in story, so I'm only level 26. Yeah. Level 26. Done with Pyro. I mean, I've done some stuff with Trickster and Dev. Dev is a little silly because I literally only use punches. Item management. You know, I'm basically just messing like dev gear sets and like one single weapon that I have no idea which one it could be. Like, I honestly can't think of which one it is. And I could probably deconstruct some stuff for this. Hunt. I don't know. Apparently I gotta do some... Oh, I haven't done any wanted missions. That's probably what it is. Progression. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the accolade stuff, so so yeah, but I hope that answers your question, Constant Pain. and I hope you're not in constant pain. Don't be out there attacking the Leaf Village and all that, you know. But I can give you some other defensive mod recommendations if you want. Now we gotta agonizingly wait for these guys to all jump down. That's a real fun time. Alright. Making okay time. Sometimes they just spawn up there and don't want to hop down. It's really annoying. I apologize again if I don't immediately read the chat. I'm not really going for speed runs, but I like to at least make a decent time. Making okay time right now. We'll see how I handle the last room. Could absolutely flub it on the final boss. Damage absorber. Yeah, damage absorber is nice. Damage absorber gives you like an astronomical amount of stats for what it is, which is hilarious because it's a flat armor mod, right? Oh, I flubbed that. Whoops-a-daisy. I just accidentally reloaded. No, I didn't reload that thing. Okay. We're okay. I don't think we're going to get a 330. I really want to get a 330. 330 on console is tough. Did we get it? Oh, we were so close. I don't know if we got it or not. It was so close. Oh, damn it. So close. So close to the 330. Dang, man. Dang, we were so close. Ah. 330. That's okay. It's okay. Still a new PR. But Pyromancer, come on, guys. Super fast. Dang. Why is it easier on PC? These games in general just easier on PC, like movement-wise, using abilities, swapping weapons and stuff for optimal, like,
Where'd these bandits come from anyway?
for optimal like mod usage, right? Like Moaning Winds is gonna do more damage than Shadow Comet is gonna do. So if you're actually able to go and like put Moaning Winds on a bunch of stuff and like just constantly be reloading, which is a lot easier on PC, right? Like with controller, I like the play style at least of using Shadow Comet, because then I can just go and like, all right, I can hit this, switch, like shoot this, switch, hit this, switch. You know what I mean? That's a lot easier to do for me, and then cast abilities in between, than it is to go and like switch and like constantly be switching and reloading, constantly be switching and reloading. Does that make sense? Whereas with like PC, I don't know if I can even pull my mouse up to show you, but like with PC, it's literally, at least, I don't remember who the hell was saying it earlier. Sorry, for some reason I'm blanking on the name, but they basically just have like their weapon swap on their mouse wheel, and then they're just going up and down, and it's like when you're doing that and all the other abilities, it makes sense. It's easier to rotate through Moaning Winds. And then like obviously if I was like on Firepower Techno, right? Like the ease of use of like aiming, like PC aiming versus console aiming is just night and day difference, right? But I play on Xbox, so that's what it is. But I just like the Shadow Comet playstyle, so like I know I'm not going to be able to get like the fastest time in the world, but I would like to get like a 3:30 time, you know, just to have it with a controller. I don't think I have this. I don't think I have this helmet. Your weapon damage and knowledge damage against enemies affected by skill increase respect by 40% for 5 seconds. That might be pretty solid. That sounds nice. I kind of want to test that out. Do I swap Captain Hunter for it? Captain Hunter is so constant. That's the problem. It's like Ash Blast, the cooldown is fairly high. Sorry, let me catch up with chat. Apologize. Bader. When you level a new class, I see you have a lot of titanium on it already. How do you do that? Like on your Pyro, you have 2,158 at level 12. Well, for the sake of those streams, right? Like, the goal of the streams is to educate people and show them that you can climb up with, with a tier 1, tier 2 build. But in order for me to like make it so the stream isn't a total bore, like I'm not trying to emulate a brand new player. I'm trying to emulate I'm just trying to show you the expeditions, right? So like if I wanted to go and just do it as a new player that doesn't have a bunch of titanium or something, then I would have to go and farm a bunch of stuff. But the fact is I have like legit 6 characters now, all at CT15, all that have been farming. So they have a crap load of titanium. Like this dude has 86,000. And so either I could make the stream quadruple as long, or, not quadruple, but you know what I mean? Like it would be boring if I just going and kept rerunning stuff for the sake of rerunning it, when I could just go and send over a couple of these legendaries to whatever my new character is and just dismantle them so I don't have to keep swapping back and forth. Does that make sense? So it's like I'm just trying to make it so it's more efficient when I'm showing those, showing those climbs. That makes sense, Bader? So like I could just go and take, this Thunderbird, send it down to a level 1, have them dismantle it, and have some titanium to be able to boost stuff up faster so that I can show those videos and not take, 4 days in between videos. That makes sense. Aim is still really good though. Yeah, I mean I've always played on controller, so it's no big deal to me. My aim would be worse for a while if I actually switched to PC. But, they still need to add in some better controller settings on here because it's a little jacked. But man, that like stuff like that. Volcanic rounds decreases the target's armor by 30% for 10 seconds. Like that's just such a weird thing to have on a set piece, because volcanic rounds does not hit armor. It's like, it's just so, it's so weird. It's like wearing a life jacket in a plane. Like, why is it even there? So let's dismantle this. We'll just do it. We'll do a quick test run. Console gang. That's right, dude. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I got a high-powered PC right next to me, but the most graphically intensive stuff that thing plays is like Shadowlands. That's pretty much it. All right, so where's this Ash Blast mod? Let's try this instead of Captain Hunter. I don't think it's going to be as good. Yeah, I really don't think it's going to be as good. But we got a new mod, so we might as well just test it out. What the hell? The reason why I put Captain Hunter, the only reason why I put Captain Hunter on this build is because, you know, the goal is AoE nuking. It's not, you know, we're not nuking bosses that well outside of when I'm meleeing them and trying to, you know, use all my weapon mods on them. So Captain Hunter just really helps in that regard. But this will make it, I don't know, it'll probably make it a lot easier to nuke stuff with Dash Blast. You're into WoW, nice, dude. Since vanilla, bro. Did I have any clue what I was really doing in WoW Vanilla when I was playing it as a kid? Probably not. Made some real stupid choices. But that's okay. Is it better to do attribute upgrades to weapons anytime or once you hit 50? It depends on if you got like a really super solid weapon. I mean, for like someone climbing for the first time and they have no other things, I wouldn't recommend like upgrading like an insane amount of attributes unless you have like a god roll and you want to keep it, because it just gets so expensive. You know, that's why I recommend people go and level up like not level up, always do like the next highest expedition, because you're going to be able to go and, oh dang, I wish I didn't use Ash Blast there, not paying attention. So I recommend people do the next highest expedition that they're able to do, because you're going to be able to get all that stuff easier. You know, you're going to be able to go and get stuff that is higher level and not have to spend those materials. But again, it's really up to you. If you find something you really like for example, the DLC, the pre-order tactical rifle, probably one of the easiest ways to get a god roll tactical rifle in the entire game. You can go and just keep re-rolling for an Earthborn assault rifle. And they're fantastic. And so you might want to go and rock that all the way to the end of the game. And that would be totally reasonable. And you know it's going to be God tier, so like maybe it's worth it, you know? But there might be other stuff that isn't as worth it. And in that case, you're probably better just saving your money. It's probably easier to go and just sell everything and then just buy brand new god roll upgrades from the vendor, because you know they're going to be at that maximum level, you know? I don't know if that answers your question accurately or not. We're making okay time here. Sorry. No legendary to send over the epic. Yeah, can do that too. Burning Crusade baby here. Who is the best WoW class and why is it Rogue? Dude, I was a vanilla Rogue, man, for the longest time. Rogue was my favorite when you know, it was much more burst heavy. You know, like the good old Wrath of the Lich King days where you could just shadow step onto people and just ambush them, and that was it. You know? But like, oh, why did I do that? Whoopsie. But I'm not too big of a fan of like the, you know, I don't like the like the stun lock stuff nowadays. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. I do. I miss the days where it's like I just play like a gnome rogue and just be able to like two-shot a mage, you know. Want to say thanks for the budget pyro build video. It was really helpful. Hey, KK1836. I'm sorry I didn't see your follow, but I appreciate it a ton, dude. The Twitch follows really mean a lot, and I hope those builds help you out. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you got. If you need any other help, please let me know. But thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. 371 Earthborn for my Techno. Yay, there you go. If you can get it above 370 or at 370, you're looking at a 90,000 firepower rifle, which is really, really nice to have. And if you guys don't know how to do that, you know, there's plenty of YouTube videos. I got one in the description right now or on my channel. Just kind of explains it. You know, the method that you choose to do it, use it at your own risk, because, you know, there's certain scummier ways of doing it, but you can see a large amount of people in the community rocking those rifles, and it's because it's super easy to get a really nice high firepower one. Warlock for life. Is it worth to level up 25 level Acara to max or wait to get it now? What Acara piece is it? Do I play on Xbox or PC? I'm on Xbox, my friend. Head, leg, and hands.
Shira, about those energy spikes.
It's gonna cost it's gonna cost a decent amount, but it's really not that bad until you get into the upper like 40s in terms of the actual cost. So you could go and level them up. I mean, the problem is, right, like the hands are not particularly super useful. But trying to think, level 25, I mean, you're past story mode already. I mean, I think you'd be fine leveling them up. I mean, you know that the head and the legs especially are going to be useful later on, so it's a worthwhile investment, right? And having that 3-piece bonus, especially as you're going through the challenge tiers, is going to make it going through them like a million times easier. And it's already easy, right? Warlock for life. Dude, I was rocking a Warlock this expansion for a little while. Give me 1 second, you guys. I will be right back when you use the restroom real quick. Alright, sorry about that. So sorry. But man, you know, when you're playing Outriders, when you're playing a good game, well, at least for me, like, my body's just conditioned. I just don't even think about the bathroom, and then I'm just like, damn, like, it's been a long fucking time. Maybe that's TMI, but... played LoC since BC, also where I got my name from. Hey, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Gosh, I miss, oh, so many good times in OG WoW that just, like, don't exist anymore because of, you know, I don't know, caring about people. Like, when you could just summon Infernals in, like, Northshire and shit. So good. You know? Barker, you can add me on Xbox. I have an Xbox Club. For Outriders 2. It's up to you. But I am warning you, I don't usually, like, party up with people. So please don't be offended if I don't accept any invites or anything like that. It's just simply because I'm... gotta try and make some content, you know? That's all it is. But I do want to do, like, viewer carries and stuff like that, because I know people are doing that. But I kind of want to wait until all the multiplayer issues get sorted out. But at the same time, it's like, if I just invite people, it'll probably be fine. Literally haven't touched co-op, so I don't even know how it would go. It'll be real interesting to see how... What the heck? Why didn't it reload? Okay. Whew. Should be able to nuke them all at once right here. I really don't know how much that anomaly power boost is doing after the Ash Blast. I feel like we're just taking more time to kill captains in general. Making okay time. It's no, we're not going to beat our last time though. Is this a speed farm build? Yes, it is, sir. Except we're using Death Shield with Fortress instead of just our Shadow Comet from before. Otherwise, it's the exact same. Well, and we're testing out a new mod on the helmet. But other than that, it's the speed farm build in the videos. Everyone knows Crossroads in the Bear Chest where it was at. Oh shit, I totally whiffed that. No. Oh, that stinks. There goes our sub 4. I flubbed it. In the name of Wayne's World, I choked on the open net, bro. Chokes on the open net. It's lucky to get Death Shield when you clear CT15. Nice, dude. You're already one step ahead. Does the Acara chest drop in Expos? Everything drops in Expeditions, broski. Everything.
Cullen, the bandit leader's taken care of.
That's the nice thing about Expeditions.
Where these bandits come
And once you
from?
get a decent farming build, you'll just be plowing away. Plowing away. Damn, we got 10 viewers in the Twitch. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. But yeah, Akari chest drops in Expeditions. That's how I got mine. I'm telling you, I did the hunt farm for 4 days before people realized that the stuff was scuffed. And then I said, all right, screw this. We going back to the Expeditions. And it worked out great. Soulmark, do you still play WoW? New expansion was pretty solid, not gonna lie. I straight up abandoned my guild when Outriders came out. They're probably not too happy with me. Man, see, like, look at this. Like, Boots of the Lava Lich. Like, come on. Like, how is that a developer-curated role? Max health, status power cooldown with boost your resistance by 15% every time you use a skill. That's not, like, a bad defensive mod, but... Max health? Come on. It's rough, you know? Alright, Objective Song could be a strong contender for Christmas #1. Keep getting everything but Kari chest. I know, dude. Believe me, I know the struggle. I feel your pain, man. Not too time consuming to keep up with Mythic rating. Yeah, dude, I kind of just went more casual with the Mythic rating. I didn't go try and do anything cutting edge. But, like, I don't like, you know... Again, I don't like farming for the sake of farming. I don't like, I think that just comes from the WoW days of dailies and stuff, like... No thank you. Like, give me something fun to farm. Give me content to do. Like, Torghast, man. Ooh, wow, I fucked up there. Jesus, that's not good. Like, going through Torghast the first time, fine, cool, but, like, I don't want to have to do that shit every week. The Maw, bro? I didn't touch the Maw. The Maw I was like, oh, you want me to walk everywhere? Yeah, you could take a walk. How about that? Like, I'm not dealing with that shit. Yeah, this is not a quick run, unfortunately. What is my firepower? Anomaly power 567. Hold on. As long as we're not doing a quick run, I just wanna see how much the actual damage increase is for this. So we hit them with this. We hit them with that. 525. Doesn't seem right. $567. What the hell is the mod? Oh, increases the damage effective. Interesting. Well, so it's not an anomaly power boost to us, it's a damage amplification against them for 5 seconds. I don't know. It does look fairly substantial when you have Master Consumer on them, I'm not gonna lie. Because Master Consumer is already 150% extra damage. Could be a pretty big damage boost. I actually do think I like that more, honestly. Even though I flubbed up the rest of this, the damage is actually... I mean, we're getting 2.7 million if we hit it with heat and... It's actually not that bad.
Cullen, the bandit leader's taken care of. Your pass is clear.
Funky.
Bandits come from anyway.
Gonna head off to bed. Have a great rest of the stream. Hey, thanks, Solmark. Appreciate you hanging out in here, broski. World quests are the worst. Dude, exactly. Fucking exactly, man. Oh, 2 Charms of the Lava Lich. Great. Definitely need those. Do you have a build that could fit in Eruption? It looks so cool, but I don't know if it fits with gear I have. I want to play a bit before we have to go out and have fun. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Bader. Appreciate it, man. I could work on an Eruption build. I mean, is it going to be as good as, like, an endgame Eruption build going to be as good as, like, Overheat? Probably not. And I don't think a mid-game one is going to be as good as the mid-tree builds. But Eruption, I was running for a while. It is cool. It's such a cool ability. It really is. But when you're asking for a Eruption build, do you want like no tier 3 mods, no legendaries? You just want like a dope legendary Eruption build. Because that could be fun to make. Like, I'll keep that piece. I mean, I try and, like, when I find, like, pieces that kind of work for a potential other build, I try and keep them as long as I can just for the sake of testing, you know what I mean? We get some news. Legendaries will ever get random rolls soon. Oh man, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? That would be a treat. Eruption Bill seems like it would be better for co-op. Able to get the Death Shield from bounties? As far as I'm aware, yes, you are able to get the Death Shield from bounties. It's the hunts that seem to be scuffed. But from what I understand, from what people are telling me, that they've gotten Death Shield from hunts. Not from hunts, sorry. From the wanted missions. Sorry, it's getting late here. I'm screwing up. I think that probably would be decent for an eruption build. That's not bad for an overheat build. Let's go and sell all this stuff. It's really annoying me that our scrap is not at maximum either. Hey, no problem. An eruption build seems like it would be better for co-op. In comparison to what? You know? Like mid-tree and co-op? Pretty legit. I would imagine. You're giving people a ton of damage amplification, and your heat wave cooldown is low as F. Your status power is super high, you know. Eruption is dope, but it is just, you know, it's just a damaging ability. It's so cool though. I wish it worked like every single person. I wish it like had like a mass targeting radius and every single person had an eruption spawned under them. That would have been a dope legendary set, you know? What do I feel like doing right now? Am I doing one tomorrow? I probably won't be streaming tomorrow because I got to go to a tasting for my wedding. So tomorrow is like my little vacation. Probably will pick back up on like Saturday. Probably pick back up on Saturday. Like most likely Saturday afternoon, depending on how tired I am. But I should be on this weekend. But thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all of you guys hanging out in the chat and following on Twitch and stuff. I really appreciate it. It's awesome, and that average viewer is growing. It's pretty dope to see. I'm glad that the builds are helping people out. And feel free to share them wherever you feel like. I don't give a shit.
Another matter calls for your expertise. There's a metal-rich cave in the wreckage zone. I've been having my filthy way with it for a while. For the last couple of days, none of the miners have reported back. Something must have happened. Can you check on them? And make sure they're not slacking on the job.
Dude, the farm for that god roll tactical is real. Yeah, it is. It is definitely real. But I mean, everybody's doing it. It just kind of depends on how you want to do it, what your risk tolerance is. But if you can get one that is like 370, it's going to be above 90,000 firepower once you hit once it hits level 50, right? Like mine, where is it? Ooh, wow, my stash is, jeez. Imagine if I got a legendary that I wanted and it accidentally deconstructed. I would have been so fucking annoyed. This is the one that I farmed, right? And I mean, I used this in my budget Technomancer build, and that's why it has anomaly enhancement on it instead of killing spree. But 95,000 firepower. This thing was at 376, 377 at level 1 or level 10, whatever the hell it is. I don't have to worry about accidentally deconstructing it because it's locked. It can't be deconstructed. You know? But every single person can get these. I mean, there's another one right there. You know? Taste test sounds fun. Yeah, it's just for, you know, for wedding shit, you go and try the food on the menu. Actually, alright, let's do this one properly. That's what we're doing. We're just going to eat the food on the menu, decide what we want on the menu. Scenes 344, and I'm like 50th reroll. Rough, broski. I got really lucky, and I got mine, like, within my first, like, 10. But that's why I was telling people, if it's, you know, if it's above 370, just stop. It ain't worth it. People claim to see 380s. We had somebody in the chat say they had a 394. But those are not accurate. Our timing here looks good, looks good. Stupid bomb. Timing here is actually like a couple seconds slower than usual. You should just buff other weapons. Fuck using that gun. 99% of people use it. I mean, you don't have to use it. But the whole point of this is explaining to people the easiest way to do stuff. And that's the easiest way to get a nice god roll gun. I mean, you can farm for it. But tactical rifles are just really nice to use. That's unfortunate. Meh. But I mean, normal rifle builds work just as well, especially if you're playing techno. But tactical rifle is just really solid. Ease of use is really up there. You know? And like I said before, if something's easy to get, or, you know, whatever's the easiest way for you guys to climb, I'm not gonna not say it. It doesn't matter to me if everybody uses it. I'll keep at it, get on work tomorrow, so you can do that during the day while I'm on Zoom meetings. Dude, you got it all planned out, bro. You got it all planned out. You know, not funny, you're saying it's way more OP than most gun variants. Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to ease of use. You know, that's the thing. I mean, you know, originally I went to CT15 on my techno using just, you know, doing the standard rifle. And I really liked that, but especially on console, man, that controller aim, it does not feel that great unless you're playing it a lot and get used to it. So tactical rifle can help a lot of people out. It's a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit less trigger presses than the other option. Oh wow, we are playing this room horribly, huh? But yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Because LMGs in general, in my opinion, from a min-max point of view, LMGs, double guns, SMGs, they can take a walk. Their fire rate is nice, their mag size is nice, but their time to kill is just so fucking long that you know, once you're past CT12, you're going to be like, hey, why don't I kill things anymore? You know? Like LMGs and double guns, especially, basically, only time when I would ever use one is, you know, if I'm running an anomaly power build and I'm just using an LMG or a double gun for like the on-hit weapon mods, because then you don't have to reload as much because the clip size is bigger, right? But other than that, it's like their time to kill is just not as good as the other guns. But the problem is if you buff their time to kill, whoops, that was an accident. If you buff their time to kill, then they just become broken because they never run out of ammo. And so that's just what the balance is, you know? I hope they buff out the other weapons. Surely they surely should be more viable. But that's, well, yeah. I mean, that's basically what I was saying, Mr. Bobo Django, is like, if you go and you try and make LMGs and double guns more viable, then they become more broken than the other stuff already is. And I shouldn't say, I use broken just as a generic term. I don't actually mean broken. Don't at me. You know? Like, rifles are solid, their time to kill is really good, and especially the tactical ones, you know, or sorry, their time to kill is really good, but the only thing is like you really gotta aim. You gotta land those crits, and some people have problems with their aim like that. You know? Or they just wanna cherish their controller more. And the tactical rifle, after playing, you know, to CT15 with the normal marksman rifle, is like a nice breath of fresh air. You know, you can just hold it down. Don't really have to worry about ammo as much. It's just like a walk in the park. Or attacking rifle gets nerfed in the next balance pass? I mean, they already nerfed it. They nerfed it in the first balance pass.
What did you do with it?
It's disabled.
They totally could, but, you know, that's why it's like, get while the getting's good. You know?
Some lives today, Outrider. I would expect nothing less from you.
Whoops, didn't want to do that. But it's like their time to kill is just so bleh. Using them just doesn't make sense. But how does Fortress work? Basically, when you're like level, what? Like I think it's like gear level like 41. Basically, you're gonna be getting the maximum damage bonus out of Fortress. So you don't have to like build armor or anything. But all Fortress does is just it gives you a 43% damage bonus, and that applies to Anomaly, and that's why everybody who's running Anomaly stuff wants Fortress. Use Ash Blast instead of Feed the Flames in your build? I wouldn't suggest it. Glad I found you from Reddit, man. Hey, thanks, Steve. I wouldn't suggest it because Ash Blast doesn't really... I mean, you can, it's an immobilize, but the cooldown on Ash Blast is going to be about 3 times the size of the cooldown Feed the Flames if you're using that build. You know, I mean, it's literally double it. So you're not, I mean, the thing is, like, if you're using Feed the Flames on that mid-tree build, the anomaly power bonus lasts 10 seconds, and, I mean, I don't even have anything reducing that cooldown now, and the cooldown on Feed the Flames is 9.9 seconds. So you basically, if you just keep using Feed the Flames, you have a permanent 45% anomaly boost. Whereas Ash Blast, 16.5 seconds, right? Do I have to be using the gun that has Fortress fitted? You have to have, with every single mod, you have to be using the gun that it's fitted on. You have to. Running out of freaking inventory space, man. But yeah, it's that's why it's like, okay, I got Death Shield, which is fantastic, but I really need another one so that I can apply Fortress to another gun. So no matter what gun I'm on, I'm getting the thing. Right now, you can see what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I screwed up, but it's like, I'll have Fortress, I'll use Heat Wave, I'll pop whatever, then I'll switch to this thing, reload, hit them with Radiation Splash, which gives them vulnerable, plus the Moaning Winds, and then before I go and I cast my other stuff, I switch back to Death Shield. Sometimes it doesn't work, and you lose out on a ton of damage, you know? Whereas if I just had Fortress, it'd be really nice. Follow on Twitch. You on Twitch the same? Yeah, it's right in the description, Steve. I don't know if you're watching on mobile or what, but it's exactly the same. And I appreciate it. Feel pretty good about this one so far. Oh damn, I don't know where the hell these guys come from. Still pretty solid. Making pretty good time right now. Let's see if I don't screw up the other room. I guess either way we're doing a pretty fast Boomtown run, huh? Let's see if we can hit that guy walking over. I'm right there. Pop this. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Ooh, I screwed up that Ash Blast. Hopefully that doesn't mess me up. Oh, geez, they popped Phoenix, so we can probably kiss this speed run goodbye. Unfortunately enough. No, 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 don't reload. Ah! Did it reload? Damn it. Making okay time. Come on, baby. Let's go for it. Let's see a good one, huh?
I get wandered into some maniac's idea of a party. Would you look at that? There's a pod here.
It's not gonna be 3:30. Rough. Jesus. I'm getting lit up here. And that guy came back to life. Well, rest in peace speed run. It's okay. Should still get a sub 4 here. I think I could just kill them. And I was wrong. So maybe I just totally fucked myself out of that. Oh, that's rough. Unfortunate. You hate to see it. Let's make a vid on this build I'm currently using. Yep. That is on the channel as well. That's the speed run. That's the quick guide. You got followed one closer partner. This is Steve from YouTube chat. Yeah, I had a feeling. What helps you more, watching from Twitch or YouTube? I mean, either or, dude. Either or. The Twitch is just helpful for getting, you know, Twitch affiliate and working towards that, you know, because you need to have a certain amount of average viewers. So Twitch is probably more helpful because I've already got, you know, some of that on YouTube. It requires, you know, like with YouTube, you need a certain amount of watch hours to get like channel memberships and stuff. But you know, I got that a while ago. But for Twitch, you'd have to do, you know, a lot of stuff on their platform, and so every little bit, people watching on Twitch is very helpful. But I appreciate both, really, I do. More people, the merrier. But we've been streaming for a super long time now, and I think I'm probably going to call it a night. Like I said, thank you so much to everybody following and watching on Twitch. I really appreciate it. And on YouTube. Did you strategy mode for those maps you're speedrunning, please? Yeah, absolutely, dude. I do have one for Chem Plant, but I can do another one. And in most of my budget ones, I try and walk through Arcways of Enoch, but I can definitely do those. But thank you for all of you guys watching, everybody who subbed on YouTube, and everybody who, you know, followed on Twitch. I really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions at all, like about anything or any videos you want to see, like please, like you just recommended, thank you so much. Let me know, because I want to make stuff that's gonna help you guys. Feel free to share this wherever. I don't care if it's on Reddit, Facebook, whatever you want to do. But let me know if you have any questions at all. And tomorrow I won't be streaming, but Saturday and Sunday I should be back. I got wedding stuff to do tomorrow. But thank you guys so much, and have a good night. Hey, you have a good one, Mr. Boba Django. Melee AP Pyro bid. Oh man, I'll think about it, dude. All right, thanks guys. Have a good night. Good luck on your builds and climbing.